This morning, 9 people are dead and dozens more hurt after 3 separate shootings in Mississippi.
Crying because they were starting to identify the different people that was laid out.
People who were enjoying themselves last night found themselves faced with violence that no community should be faced with.
8 people killed, 16 others shot, and over 2,000 shots fired, all in just 24 hours. Mississippi woke up to the sound of marching bands and went to sleep to the sound of gunfire. Homecoming, a night meant for celebration, families, students, memories. But this year, it became a battlefield. It all began on a quiet Friday night in Leland, Mississippi, a town of barely 4,000 people. The community gathered for the Leland High School homecoming game, kids in Letterman jackets, grandmothers in folding chairs, the marching band thundering through the night. Nobody knew that within hours, 6 people would be gone, 16 wounded, and a community forever scarred.
You know, even for the people that's not from Leland, you know, don't nobody deserve what happened, you know.
It's not a time to keep your mouth closed. It's a time you open your mouth. You can save a lot of lives if you open your mouth and tell us what you have seen.
Scene 1, Leland, the first shots. Midnight hit like a storm. Gunfire tore through Main Street, burst so fast, so loud that people first thought it was fireworks until bodies started falling. Witnesses say the street was lined with cars, laughter, and music. Then chaos. Someone screamed, "They got switches on this." Then another shouted, "Oh my God." When it stopped, there were bodies lying across the asphalt. Men, women, even teenagers. 6 didn't make it out alive. The coroner's office identified the victims later. 41-year-old LaQuisha Johnson, 19-year-old Calvin Plank, 25-year-old Chevy Powell, 18-year-olds Casson Johnson and Amos Briley, and 34-year-old Jamaica Jones. 6 names, 6 lives gone. What was supposed to be a victory night became a funeral roll call. "Man, there's bodies everywhere. Somebody's kid ain't coming home," a woman whispered through tears. She said, "Son, help me." I turned around. They threw a white sheet over her. Scene 2, the aftermath. Shell casings littered the street. Firefighters hosed blood off the pavement. Cell phones recorded the horror. Shaky hands, trembling voices. Mayor, FBI, ATF, all called to Leland by morning. The town hadn't seen violence like this in decades, and yet no one could explain why. Officials said the shooter or shooters was still out there. Rumors spread fast. Rival groups, retaliation, mistaken identity. Nobody knew for sure, but everyone knew something broke that night in Leland. Scene 3, a spreading nightmare. As Leland mourned, the nightmare didn't stop because Mississippi wasn't done bleeding. 200 miles away in Heidelberg, the homecoming at South Delta High turned deadly. Gunshots rang out again, this time on school grounds. 2 people killed, another badly wounded. 18-year-old Tyler Gerard Goodlow was arrested as a person of interest. But by the time police arrived, the celebration had already turned into a crime scene. Streamers and blood on the same ground. 2 dead at Heidelberg High. Multiple scenes across Mississippi tonight. Families say they just want answers. And just when the state thought it couldn't get worse, it did, because a 3rd shooting broke out the very same night. Scene 4, Rolling Fork, blood at the stadium. Rolling Fork, Mississippi, a small town known for catfish farms and friendly waves. But that Friday night, bullets rained down outside South Delta High's football stadium. 2 shot, one identified as Quindale Wise. He was hit twice, collapsed outside the bleachers. Miraculously, he survived. 2 suspects, Justin Pam and Michael Miles Jr., were arrested the next day. Police still don't know the motive, but they know one thing: it wasn't random. Even as parents rushed their kids into cars and teachers screamed for everyone to get down, the shots kept echoing, the same sound that had already haunted Leland hours before. Scene 5, Saturday. The violence continues. By Saturday, Mississippi was on edge. Helicopters circled small towns, churches opened for prayer, and yet the violence still wasn't over. Because that evening, the chaos reached Alcorn State University in Lorman. It was supposed to be the highlight of the weekend, an HBCU homecoming full of joy and pride. But at 6:30 p.m., outside Jack's grocery store, gunfire broke out again. One woman, 29-year-old Bara Fisher, was killed. A mother of young children, gone in seconds. 2 others were shot but survived. And across the state, panic rippled like thunder. Parents called their kids non-stop. Police scanners wouldn't stop crackling. Scene 6, Jackson. The child caught in the crossfire. Then came Jackson. During the Jackson State University homecoming game, chaos erupted again, this time near the tailgate area. Amid the fire and confusion, an 11-year-old child was shot in the stomach. He was rushed to the University of Mississippi Medical Center. By a miracle, he survived. But that wasn't all. Cars burst into flames in the parking lot, one after another. Witnesses shouted, "It started with 1 car, now it's 6, 7 cars burning." The smoke could be seen for miles. And just like that, another homecoming was over before halftime. Scene 7, the state in shock. By Sunday morning, Mississippi looked like a war zone. 5 towns, 5 homecomings, more than 2,000 shots fired in one weekend. Governor Tate Reeves called it an unspeakable tragedy. The FBI, ATF, and local sheriffs formed joint task forces overnight, but officials admitted something chilling. They'd never seen this many connected shootings in one weekend in state history. And while politicians talked about justice, families were still picking up shell casings from their lawns. Scene 8, the community speaks. Community leaders stepped forward, angry, heartbroken, desperate for change. One man said, "If you want to shoot, join the army. Our city don't belong to you." Another woman cried on camera, "We never expected this. This is supposed to be where people come home to love, not die." The Leland school superintendent, voice shaking, said, "People should have a right to come home and enjoy themselves. We worked so hard to keep the violence out, but it found its way back in. And maybe that's the hardest part. These weren't gang wars in dark alleys. These were homecomings, football games, parades, cookouts, people celebrating being alive until they weren't." Scene 9, the bigger picture. This isn't just about one town, it's about a cycle: anger, pride, revenge. Each generation learning to shoot before they learn to talk things out. Social media turning beef into bloodshed. These weren't strangers fighting over nothing. They were classmates, neighbors, family, and in small towns where everyone knows everyone, violence doesn't end. It travels from Leland to Heidelberg to Jackson, each shooting echoing the last like a tragic song on repeat. Scene 10, a night to remember. It's hard to wrap your mind around what happened in just 24 hours. 8 lives lost, 16 wounded, over 2,000 bullets fired, 5 communities left shattered, and all of it during a weekend meant for pride, unity, and coming home. Imagine a mother decorating her yard for her son's homecoming parade, only to be planning his funeral the next morning. Imagine teenagers who can't hear fireworks anymore without ducking for cover. That's Mississippi right now, a state in mourning and in disbelief. We got to do better. A man at the scene said something that keeps echoing. Man, we got to do better. Event like homecoming supposed to be safe, but we shouldn't end up here. And he's right. Somewhere along the way, we stopped seeing life as precious. Somewhere, we stopped talking and started shooting. But we can't keep burying our own every weekend. So tonight, as you watch this, pray for Mississippi, for Leland, for Heidelberg, for Jackson, for every family that lost someone they loved over nothing. Fam, this was the story of a weekend that should have been about homecoming, but became a homegoing. 8 gone, 16 hurt, 2,000 shots that can never be taken back. Let's talk in the comments. Was this just coincidence or something deeper happening in our small towns? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay safe and love your people while you still can.